Welcome to the Global Experience. We explore the intersection of transformation and innovation with customer service and collections and the evolving world of customer and employee experience. Join keynote speakers, industry mavericks, CX and debt collections experts and influencers as we uncover what's shaping the future. Let's get into it. Welcome to this special edition of the Global Experience. This month, we're celebrating Women's Month and the inspirational leaders we get to encounter every day. Today, we're joined by Heather Shoemaker, CEO and founder of Language.io, and formerly the founder of Cheyenne Technologies. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bryce.
Fantastic. So to get us started, let's go back to the beginning. You've built and you've led many ventures. What drew you into entrepreneurship in the first place?
I think what drew me into entrepreneurship was just dissatisfaction with traditional corporate tech, at least in the United States. It can get quite toxic, especially for women. We have different obstacles than men in corporate tech. I was just talking to some folks about this, and I mean, it's totally doable, but I got to a certain point at the last large corporate position that I held where I started thinking, why don't I just try something new? And I lived in a relatively rural area where there weren't a lot of software development services, and that was my background. So I thought I'd just start my own company, see how it went.
And here you are. How many years later have you been founding and running successful companies?
Oh, geez, let's see. That would have been, my mind is drawing a blank here, at least for probably close to 20 years now, if I'm being honest. I didn't realize it was that long. Not quite.
Yeah. It makes you think.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, and I feel like every founder has a moment where things could have gone either way. Like there comes a point in your career where you learn a valuable lesson in running a company, or things didn't go quite as planned. Does anything come to mind for you in terms of like where the paths could have been dramatically different?
Oh, so many places, right? Like starting your own company. When I left corporate tech because it was a struggle, it was toxic. I didn't like the power structures and the corporate climbing. But you kind of jump out of the fire and out of the frying pan into the fire, as the analogy goes. As an entrepreneur, you have a completely different set of challenges. You know, is it going to work? Am I going to actually make enough money to pay myself a salary? Like, so many challenges. But in the end, what I liked about it was that you have agency. You decide the path that you're going to take and how you're going to respond to the challenges. Whereas in a very siloed corporate tech position, you only have so many paths forward, right, that you can take. So many times I considered abandoning it and going back and getting a regular job.
And if you had to do it all again, would you change anything?
You know, probably, but I feel like even the challenges and the things I did wrong, that's where you feel the pain and you remember what not to do in the future. I don't think I would. I think everything that I did wrong, blatantly wrong, was a learning point. I know that sounds like trite, but it's true. Like the pain is how you learn and how you really progress.
And when it comes to learnings, if you could share one of them, i.e. like this is something that you experienced, I don't know, you've been doing it for 20 years, you experienced 10 years ago, and it's stuck with you for the last 10 years as an example. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
Yes. I mean, there are many things that I could talk about, right? But I think the crossroads that a lot of entrepreneurs come to when they recognize that they have a valid business, right? That this could be something. This isn't just a pipe dream. You're pulling in revenue. You always get to this, well, at least in the United States, you get to this crossroads where you can continue to grow your company organically, and make it more of a lifestyle business, right? Or you can go after venture capital funding, which throws a completely different twist into the evolution of your company and your life. And I would really encourage entrepreneurs to think long and hard about it because everyone thinks, well, the only way to grow is to raise capital and to, get the money that I need to scale this company and really go big. But it comes at a cost, right? Because suddenly many of the reasons that you started your own thing, you want agency, you want to be able to chart your course, you want to participate in decisions, and it's never truly just you. It's not like you're up there at the helm of the ship all by yourself. You have a team, you have people that are in on it with you. It's just that when you start your own venture, it's a much smaller team, right? But back to my point, when you do take on venture capital, you're suddenly in this position again where you don't have as much agency as you have when
Yeah.
you don't have venture capital, when you don't have a board of folks who want to see very specific, very aggressive growth within your company, right? And I went down the venture capital path and it allowed me to scale my most recent company, Language IO, much faster than I would have been able to. And to, capture more market share that we needed to do at the time. And I do believe it is the right decision, but it's not the only path. And I do see successful entrepreneurs out there not raising venture capital and saying, you know what, my goal is not to grow as fast as I can and to gobble up market share. I'd rather have, just more agency, more stake in my company, more stake in the decision making process. And it's okay if I don't grow as rapidly and as fast and aggressively as other folks. It really comes down to, will I be a viable business without it? Will other competitors come in and kind of push me out if I don't get that capital? But there are valid reasons to not as well. I think that's the biggest crossroads that you come to. Does that make sense?
Completely, completely. And I think people don't often realize, I mean, the whole capital raising, equity funding, series seed to series uh, elements of funding, I think, isn't as commonly known in general average Joes around the street. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think many people realize what goes into it and the pressures that can be experienced having a massive VC firm that has invested in you, which is amazing because there's obviously a reason for investment, but I guess there comes with pros and cons to that. What did you have funding back at Cheyenne Technologies, or was that bootstrap?
Nope, did not have funding for Shine Technology. It was just an organically grown company and it worked, right? And there wasn't the rapid growth. It was much more of a lifestyle play. Like, I just wanted to have a decent salary to do what I love to do, which was software development work, to help people in this underserved community, who needed technology services, software development services. And I really enjoyed it for a long time, actually. It was a completely different way of looking at business and growing a company.
Would you say it's changed the type of leader you are today, having someone to report back to, for lack of a better word, and that board of directors? Uh, and would you say it's changed your leadership style for the better or for the worse?
Both. When there's pressure on you as a leader to grow faster, you're going to be putting pressure on your team. As much as you try to buffer that, it's there, it's real, and everybody knows it. Whereas, with Shine Technology, as long as we were, making, growing modestly, everybody was paid, we were having fun, it was fine. Whereas now with Language IO, we're still a small company in the grand scheme of things, but a lot larger than Shiny Technology, and we have a board and significant investment, and we have to do quarterly reports, and we have growth targets quarter over quarter. As far as how that changed me as a leader, though, I do try to maintain, like, I don't want to sell my soul. I don't want to become this monster that is only cognizant of the numbers and and the money and the material, those aspects, the commercial aspects of the business. I do try to maintain that human piece of being a leader, and we're all just people, and we're all, doing our best, the best that we can. And so there are peaks and valleys in any business, and I try to be cognizant of that. But yeah, there's definitely more pressure on me, and that affects my leadership style.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can only imagine. Would you say that throughout your journey so far, like, does anything come up to you, or anyone you'd like to pinpoint as someone who has helped shape where you are today? Did you have role models or mentors that helped you along your journey as founder and CEO that you drew on for wisdom in times of difficulty and hardship?
Absolutely. And mostly they're just friends, right? Like, I don't have this guru mentor who I always go to and say, "What should I do now?" Oh, great one. It's more my network of, of friends who I go to and say, "Oh my goodness, I'm in this situation. I don't know what to do." And, have you been here before? Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of women in my network in my exact same situation, but we all face similar pressures as women, as leaders. And, there are a few people that I can point to specifically. Back when I was just getting into technology, there weren't a lot of women in technology, right? This is before I got my master's degree, where I actually became, an engineer. And there was a woman I worked with who was kind of a pioneer at the time. Her name was Sandra Fish. And I was working for the Boulder Daily Camera as a newspaper reporter, but also as what we called back in the day the database reporter, where we would mine these massive data sets of public records to find trends in the data that were newsworthy. And she was really unique in that, she was a woman and she was doing this technical work. There was nobody like her in my life. And I was like, and she was really encouraging, right? She wanted me to participate. She applauded me when I wanted to get into technology and head down this path. Yeah, she didn't detract. She, gave me the resources that I need at work. She made sure that I got the equipment that I needed to do my work, and we would get together and talk about it. And ever since then, even though that was years and years ago, she's always been kind of there applauding me in the sidelines, and, looking at the achievements and encouraging me, and just knowing that she's there on my side has been huge.
I'm hearing a big network. You used the word community,
Yes.
which is I think huge, because I think you're right. Sometimes it's not that one person.
Right.
It is a community of people. It's a group of people, even if they're not in the same position as you. It
Mm-hmm.
is people who you're able to share experiences with, and it can be as almost as if they are in the same position as you because of how, I guess, intimately and closely you share and require that support.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's that's brilliant. And then I think in terms of, like, well, I guess in honor of International Women's Day, there are I'm sure that there are many common pieces of advice for women that are almost cliche to an extent and
Mm-hmm.
overrated. Which of those come to mind for you? And then a follow-up question to that would be, what would be your piece of advice that you'd offer someone, a woman who is just starting her career and is just shaping to be the professional that she's looking to be and conquer the business environment?
Conquer the business environment. Um, that's a tall order. I would just say, well, there's a lot of things I would say. I would say, like, when you're younger and optimistic and just starting out, you know, all your options are open, right? And everything is exciting and new, and you don't feel the pressure. You don't experience the hurdles that are specific to women until you start getting higher up and the stakes get higher. That has been my experience. I'm sure it's different for everybody, right? But as you kind of get higher up from a leadership perspective, going from an independent contributor to a manager to a director to an executive, then you really start to see challenges as a woman that your male colleagues don't see. And it's not, there's quite frequently no ill intent on the part of your male colleagues. They just don't have the same challenges, right? I was just speaking at a women's leadership convention, the inaugural one in Texas, and this question was asked of me: what was it like being a woman in corporate tech? What challenges did you face that your male colleagues did not face? And again, you don't see those until you get older, especially if you choose to be a mom, and suddenly, you are the only, well, not the only one, but your male colleagues don't have to go pump breast milk 4 times a day in a bathroom stall and have their work interrupted, and the stress of doing that. They're not showing up as frequently after getting half an hour of sleep because you have an infant at home, and you were up all night with that baby after getting only a couple of weeks of maternity leave. Like, that's real. Those challenges are real. But even if you don't have kids, there are very real challenges just in the power structures that exist today that present more challenges for women. And I won't go into that right now because we don't have time. But I would say my advice to women is, no, it's not fair. You are not on equal footing. But what I've found to be true is that when you see a female executive up there, she got there because she worked her butt off, right? And she's going to get things done. And my fellow female execs, I can lean on them. They know what they're doing. And often it's because you had bigger mountains to climb on your way to where you are today. And that's that it's going to be that way, but don't give up. And I know that that is also something that you hear all the time, but just keep going, because the mountains that you've got in front of you today, yeah, they're going to be hard, but take it one day at a time. Just be happy about where you are right now. You don't know what's coming tomorrow, and you're going to make it, and just don't give up.
Perfect. Heather, thank you so much. You really are, I think your CV speaks for itself, but also having engaged with you, you really are, I think, an inspiration to people who are looking to women who are, not only women, you're an inspiration to everyone who is looking to further their career, to found successful businesses, and really looking forward to coming along with you on your journey, or continuing on your journey from a partnership perspective with Newton and Language IO. So really appreciate it, and thank you.
Thanks, Bryce.
You've been listening to The Global Experience. Conversations that connect innovation, strategy, and transformation across customer service, collections, and experience. Stay inspired, stay customer-centric, and keep driving the change that matters. Until next time, this has been The Global Experience.